I want any young men who buy a gun to be treated like young women who seek an abortion. Think about it. A mandatory 48-hour waiting period, written permission from a parent or a judge, a note from a doctor providing that he understands what he is about to do, time spent watching a video on individual and mass murders, traveling hundreds of miles at his own expense to the nearest gun shop, and walking through protesters holding photos of loved ones killed by guns, protesters who called him a murderer. After all, it makes more sense to do this for young men seeking guns than for young women seeking abortions. No young woman needing reproductive freedom has ever murdered a room full of strangers. Unknown source. In the End, a play by Sharai Bohannon.
I kind of wanted to eat alone.
No, you didn't. That's why I'm here.
Huh?
You're welcome, by the way.
You can't just invite yourself to someone's table. We don't even know each other, so there's multiple layers of weird working here.
Correction. You don't know. I know you, Faith Richards. Does that make it less weird? Oh, no, now you're worried, but I promise there's no need to worry.
Is that a threat?
For a while.
Is that a threat?
No, I'm sorry if it came off that way. It's a fact. You have nothing you have to worry about for a while. I'm here for you, so it kind of defeats the purpose if you move away.
Yeah, okay then.
You're going to be one of those people that makes this difficult, aren't you? Looks like you had a good night at the bar. Those are tips from the bar, right? You bartend over on 19.
How did you know that? Have you been following me? Are you some kind of stalker or something?
No, nothing like that. I just. I happen to know things, if that makes sense.
Oh, you switched tables.
This woman just sat down and wouldn't leave me alone.
What woman?
No one else can see me.
That one, the one right there with the bright hair and weird outfit.
Is my outfit really that weird? Should I dial it back a bit?
Are you high?
No, come on. Is this some kind of joke? Are you both in on this?
Should I call someone or?
I'm fine.
I mean, are any of us really fine though?
Stop talking to me. You don't stop. Not you, her.
Ma'am?
Don't ma'am me.
You might want to take it down a couple notches. Or all of the notches.
Are you ready to place your order? Will your friend be joining us for food? Or are they already eating?
Don't say it like that because you make me sound crazy.
I'd actually like a blueberry pancake. At least I think that's what I would want if I did eat.
I'm not ordering blueberry pancakes when I'm allergic to blueberries.
We have lots of options that don't have blueberries. I'm sorry, were you talking to me or were you talking to your friend?
She's not my friend.
We could be friends, at least for a while.
And never mind. It's a prank. I don't see a woman in a ridiculous getup or a very bold dye job. I made it up because I do improv, and this is one of my new bits.
Oh, the improv crowd is always so delightful to wait on. Can I take your order, or should we start charging you for rent at the booth?
Next, Benedict, please.
Coming up.
That was the best you could come up with? You do improv?
Are you a hallucination? Am I hallucinating?
I'm real.
Who or what are you?
I think I'd like to go by Emmy. Yeah. Yes, I'll call myself Emmy. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Why are you here? Why can I see you, but the server can't?
Because we have some business together and I decided to check in early. I thought it would be nice to chat, maybe get to know each other a bit before.
Before what?
Let's talk about you instead. You've had a lot of bad luck lately. How you holding up? I mean, isn't that how people talk to each other?
How do you know I've had a lot of bad luck lately?
Because I know you. That must be a bit disorienting, I guess. I know all about you, but you actually haven't had the time to get to know me.
Why won't you answer any of my questions?
I wish I did this more often, but I'm usually all about the business, and that usually causes me to miss a lot of the smaller things. Like the way the sunlight comes in through that window over there, and it touches the tables and it makes it all warm and homey. Or the way that couple over there keeps quietly touching each other in small ways. They're in love and it's still new and exciting. You've been in love 3 times. And the last time went really bad. Why did you stay so long?
Because I was afraid.
Afraid of what?
I was afraid of what he would do. He would he would threaten to do really bad things if I left. I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want to be responsible if he did the things he said he would do.
But you're not responsible for his actions. I don't understand how you can love someone and be afraid of them at the same time.
Hey, if you're going to haunt me or whatever, can we at least change the subject from dumb things I did for love?
Why do people do it? Why do you put yourselves through all of that and then tell yourself it's love? I mean, and if that's what you think love is, then why do it?
Maybe because we like to suffer. I'm, af- I'm afraid I'm having an aneurysm or something and should go to the hospital. Seeing things can't be a good sign.
You know that you're not having a hallucination. And I think you know that I'm real. Now, please tell me, why do people pursue romantic love?
Are you okay, Mel?
I'm fine.
Are you sure there's no one I can call for you? You seem to be having a moment, and I'm just really worried about you.
If you had to explain love to someone, how would you do it?
Is this what this is about? A bad breakup?
Why do people fall in love?
Maybe because the world is a shitty place, and we've emotionally compelled to find someone to make it better. Or maybe it's just brain chemicals fucking with us. Hell, I don't really know.
I like the first idea more than the brain chemicals. Brain chemicals would be so anticlimactic at this point.
Thank you, Alex.
Anytime.
Are you going to kill me?
No, I'm not going to kill you. That's not what I do.
Are you going to tell me what you are now?
No, but I can pretend to be whatever you want me to be. What do you want me to be, dear?
I don't know. I'm not religious, so it feels weird to hope that you're something nice, like an angel or something now because I'm scared.
You don't have to be religious to hope for a good outcome. And spoiler alert, you don't have to be religious to get a good outcome. You just have to be a good person. Anyways, I'm real and you're talking to me. Whether you believe in things or not is up to you.
Okay, but don't you have more important things to do?
The only important things are the things we choose to make important.
If you won't tell me what you do, then will you at least describe it to me? You made me find an explanation for love, so
I asked you why do people fall in love and you passed it on to someone else. That's not really the same thing.
please, can you give me something? The stress is killing me.
I do the same thing I've been doing for so long. It's beginning to lose some of its a sense of wonder. And believe me, there was some magic to it at one point. And now it's just what it is, really. I'm as bound to routine as anyone else, I guess. Remember, you have nothing to fear.
Hey, man, what are you doing?
The alleged shooter was a regular at the diner.
Sources say one of the victims, Faith Richards, was an ex-girlfriend who was recently moved out.
The alleged shooter is described as a nice young man from a good family.
Was a star athlete, even won MVP last semester.
His family describes him as a kind young man. Sarah Waters has officially been declared missing.
Her family is worried about the missing woman.
I need you to come home. You've only been gone 24 hours, and everyone says as long as you're found within 72 hours, they say the odds are good if we find you within 72 hours. I just wish the police would have helped sooner. They won't even return my calls about posting your info on their social media. But at least they finally filed the paperwork. I mean, I know they have protocols, but I do wonder if they're dragging their feet because you're not white and not in the right zip code. Jay says that I'm only saying things like that because I'm probably in shock. He says when things like this happen to people we care about, we sometimes go into shock. I don't know if I'm in shock. I don't know what I am. I just know that I'm worried and I'm scared and I'm talking to myself, so maybe I am in shock. Maybe Jay is right about that.
I hope you find peace, dear girl.
Where the hell did you come from, lady?
I've been here for a while.
Bullshit.
Not bullshit.
I didn't see you until just now, so you couldn't have been here the whole time.
Just because you didn't see me doesn't mean I wasn't here. There's a lot of things you don't see and that are always around.
Huh?
Why are you on this street that you're not supposed to be on? Your parents told you not to come here.
How you know my parents told me?
I know a lot of things. I know you come on this street to see a girl who you won't talk to. You just ride by her house hoping she comes outside.
That's not why I come here.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. I come here because it got a lot of nice scenery and stuff.
You don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to tell anyone.
I'm not lying.
For what it's worth, she likes you too. She likes you a lot more than you'll ever know.
How do you know that?
I just do. So why are you afraid to tell her that you like her? She's been giving you some major signs that she's into you.
No, she hasn't. What signs?
Why are you afraid to tell her how you feel?
Psst. I'm not afraid of anything.
You're afraid of a lot of things. I know a lot more than you think I do.
Like what?
I know you want to be a teacher when you grow up. You decided that when you were teaching your little sisters how to read. That's actually some of their favorite memories of you. Even the times you tried to teach them math and they weren't ready for it at the time. You would run home from school with that day's lesson and sit them down and try to teach them anyway, though. It's part of the reason Evan was able to skip the second grade and Michelle wants to go to science. You were part of that. And they'll remember that for the rest of their lives. They will be part of your legacy, and their accomplishments will be in part because of you. You've been making an impact for the most of the time you've been alive, and I think that's quite inspiring.
But how do you know these things?
You answer my question first. Why won't you go talk to the girl? Wouldn't it be easier than riding in circles around her house hoping she comes outside eventually?
Because what if she doesn't like me? What if, like, we could at least be friends and I tell her all I have these feelings and then she gets uncomfortable and we can't be friends anymore. I don't want to be friends, but if that's all she wants, then, I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I'd rather be friends than not be anything. At least this way we can talk and hang out.
That's one way of looking at it. Another way is that you know she's into you and you just never make a move. Do you ever wonder why you just never do the things you want to do? I mean, you're here on this street where that cop threatens you every time he sees you, but you won't tell the girl you like that you have feelings for her. You'd rather take friendship and pretend you don't like each other over what could have been. Do you ever wonder why, though? Do you ever wonder why you won't let yourself believe what is right in front of you instead of doing this?
Why do you care so much anyway?
I have my reasons.
Why are you out here talking to an eighth grader about their crushes? Don't you have a life or something? I mean, you look pretty old. Did people just go around telling people how they felt when you were my age?
I'm not sure what people did back then, actually.
Is that because it was so long ago you forgot? Like how my grandmother forgets things all the time that she's older.
No, I just never got to do those kinds of things.
That doesn't make any sense. How are you going to give me advice if you never liked anyone or can't even remember being my age?
I never got to be your age.
Maybe you just can't remember being my age because you're so old.
Seriously, why are you afraid of her and not the cop? Have you ever asked yourself that? I mean, surely you should see how that should be the other way around.
He's not going to shoot me. He threatens all the brown kids just because he can. Privilege is just a powerful drug, but it does make people stupid. He's not going to lose his job and shit just to shoot one of us for being on the street. I'm not worried.
Why do you avoid talking about your feelings? Feelings are human. They're like literally the most human thing you can do aside from breathing. Why spend so much time dancing around them?
I don't know. Everybody's afraid and second guessing themselves. It's just the way it is. Aren't you afraid?
No. I actually wish I knew less so that I could be afraid sometimes. I've been very tired for a while now. It's caused some things that to become routine that should have never been taken for granted. It would be inaccurate and insensitive to say that I'm bored. However, I'm definitely in a rut.
Sounds like you need a new job. Take a vacation or something.
If only.
So, are you going to follow me all day? Because she'll definitely think something up if I arrive by her house with a chick dressed like a birthday cake walking beside me.
We'll go our separate ways long before you ever get there. For what it's worth, I don't think you're afraid to tell her. I think you don't know how amazing you are. You can't see how incredibly lucky she'd be to have you as more than a friend.
Are you hitting on me, birthday cake lady?
No, I'm just stating the facts. You have so much to give to the world. I just want you to know that your life is just as important as everyone else's. And I hope that you know that you are amazing and deserving. And you are so incredibly loved. And you are so talented and smart. I hope you know that.
Why are you sad, birthday cake lady?
An off-duty police officer allegedly shot an unarmed black man.
The unarmed black man was the top of his freshman high school class.
The officer has a history of service and has been awarded various medals of courage.
The officer has been put on suspension with pay as the investigation continues.
The officer's lawyer issued an apology at press release held earlier this evening, stating,
The police department is investigating the alleged shooting.
the lack of witnesses makes it hard to prove what happened.
Local woman Sarah Waters is still missing.
Police have located the woman's car and purse.
Woman was last seen leaving work 2 days ago.
The family is offering a meager reward for any information.
It's been 48 hours now. It's still hope. Not much, but still some. I need you to be okay so I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I was mad, but I always hoped. I hope we can make up. I want to help you get help, and I want you to be okay. I never wanted anything bad to happen to you. I was just so mad at you, but I'm not anymore. I promise, I forgive you. Do you remember when you helped me pick out my first bra? And you had to buy it for me because I was too embarrassed. The cashier was cute, and it just made it really awkward. I blushed the whole time they were handling it, and I bet they could see. Plus, your boobs were always smaller than mine, so the math definitely didn't add up. Or remember the times you would come over and we stay up until sunrise talking about music and movies and books. When you gave me my first VC Andrews, Mom never suspected that those books were full of siblings. All of those brothers and sisters and cousins on cousins with their robbing members entering one of another. Oh, how that woman used the word galloping confused the hell out of me for years, but I don't know. I still have the first one you loaned me. I guess I never gave it back after everything happened. It's in the piles of books I keep dragging around the country with me, and everyone keeps trying to make me give them up and download books like a proper millennial. The paperbacks are better. I mean, they smell better, and I don't have to remember to charge them or find the right screen setting to not have a migraine. They also carry a lot of memories. and some of them belong to you.
You gave me quite a fright there. Welcome to All Souls. We love to see new faces here. My name is Macy.
This is a lovely church.
We like to call it a place of worship. Lots of people have preconceived notions of what a church is, but we want to challenge that and make everyone feel welcome here. It doesn't matter what their religion is or if there's a lack of religion. Anyone is welcome through those doors as long as I'm in the pulpit.
That's the way it should be. I wish more places took after this one.
Most other places in this area are afraid. This is the Midwest, after all, so I don't blame them. You should see the amount of hate mail and all the threats I get. Some even from people who were a part of the congregation before I took over. It's been overwhelming, but it's to be expected in this climate. Turns out that I'm the first woman of color to lead a church within a 20-mile radius of this town. So I get it from misogynists, racists, a few women who haven't quite worked through their own internalized misogyny. And I also get it from a few random people in town who think they know their scriptures better than me. They don't seem to know that my degrees are in world religion. I know it all comes from a fear of change, and these doors are open for them if they ever come around, though. Forgive me for going on about me. What brings you here tonight?
I was in the neighborhood and I thought I'd check in.
I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but you seem to have something weighing you down, ma'am. Your soul is much too heavy for me to believe that something didn't bring you here tonight. I get it if you don't want to talk about it right now, but please know that I'm here if you change your mind. Please know that my door is always open, even if you choose to not attend our services. You are always welcome here.
I appreciate that. I'm so sorry. I usually try to be more tactful and cautious, but I seem to be having a moment and I have so many questions.
I'm more than happy to help you look for some answers.
You've done extensive work in your field. You've traveled to observe other cultures and you are just generally well versed in the subject. With all that knowledge, you're here leading this congregation, leading them in a religion you don't really believe in the middle of a very dangerous neighborhood. Like, the crime rate is high. I know for a fact that 4 people were shot on this block today, and your building is always being broken into and vandalized. How do you do this every day? Why do you do this every day?
Faith.
I should have seen that coming. Are you telling me you do all of this because of your faith in the powers that be?
No. I mean, that's a huge part of it, but I meant it's because I have faith in people.
Could you elaborate? I'm not understanding how all this ties into your faith in people.
My faith allows me to believe that as long as you are a good person, it doesn't matter what you believe in. It also doesn't matter where you go or how often you go to worship, whichever God, gods, or goddesses that you believe in. It's not about the name or the rules your religion wants to bind you to. It's about the action. It's about your actions as a person. I'm leading these people in a religion that I don't believe in because it's where I can do the most good. So what that my own beliefs don't line up with this one as much as they should? It doesn't matter because I look at these people from the pulpit and I see little girls looking at me as they begin to figure out that the patriarchal systems in place are wrong. They're realizing that this is a place where they can do more, be more than quiet, obedient, and pretty. Them and their voices are valued here, and my hope is that they're realizing that someday they too can lead, whether it's a boardroom, a place of worship, or just their partner across the dance floor. I like to think that they're seeing me and that in some small way I am helping them figure out that they have unlimited potential and that they can and should pursue whatever they want in life.
But why here? Why this dangerous location? Why not somewhere else? Somewhere you'd receive less threats in the mail. Somewhere else where...
Somewhere that doesn't need me as much. As for the high crime rates in this area, they are alarming, but I believe these high crime rates are just cries for help. I see each piece of my hate mail as a person that needs me to love them unconditionally as they work on themselves. People are inherently good. Sometimes it's really, really, really hard to remember that. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that everyone is doing the best they can with what they've been given.
I know that most of what you're saying is true, but it's still starting to get to me. I feel like it's all too much. It's like you said, I'm being weighed down by the enormity of it all. There was a time when it didn't bother me. I was a casual observer and remained unscathed by it all. The last few decades, though, I don't know if it's because the death toll has dramatically risen or if it's me. Maybe it's both. It's just getting hard to shake it off, and I feel feelings again. And I don't know what to do with any of them anymore. They're just useless and annoying.
Have you not felt feelings before?
Not since I became
What?
Became me. Since I became this.
What is this?
I really like talking to you. And I think the world needs more people like you. Hypothetically, what if I tell you that I know how and when you die? Would you want to know so you can avoid it?
No, we're not supposed to know that. That's too big a burden for anyone to carry.
Who says you're not supposed to know? Who says you can't change it for certain situations?
I guess I do. I wouldn't want to live in fear. I wouldn't want to spend the rest of my life counting down to the inevitable.
But it's not inevitable. It's violent and senseless. It's also completely avoidable.
If it's unavoidable for me, then wouldn't I avoid it without your intervention?
Why won't you just let me save you?
Let's say you tell me and I skip my death this time. Then what about next time? Would you be stopping in to save me every time my card came up? Would the powers that be just try again and again until it was my time? What if because I tried to avoid my time, my fate, more people end up getting hurt right alongside with me the next time or times?
We can't know that because no one has ever tried. You could be the first and you should be the first.
I don't know what you are, ma'am, but I've pieced together that you're something not of this world, which means that you probably know as well as I do that what's written is written. We can't fight fate.
But why can't we try?
Because it's not our place.
What is our place? I don't know anymore. It all used to make sense and it just doesn't anymore. The rate at which people are falling and then the senselessness of it all. It didn't used to be this way and I don't understand you all. What is the point? What is the purpose of it? People are literally just killing each other for sport now. There's so much death that I'm not enough to cover it anymore. I am literally in 973 places right this second and still not enough. I asked a man in a supercenter yesterday why he was buying a gun to do what he was about to do, and he shrugged. He literally looked me in my eye and said, "Because I can." There's no honor in what he did and no reason. It's wasteful and grotesque, and I had to be there for all the victims and then turn around and be there for him, and I just don't want to do this anymore. That has left a woman that was never even given the option to change her outcome. And believe me, her outcome was terrible. And she did nothing to deserve it. No one ever does anything to deserve it, but it's still another stupid hate crime. When she's finally found what he did to her, the way he left her in a trash can in his garage and went on about his life and would continue to go on if he wasn't about to get caught tomorrow. It's insulting and a complete waste of a life. And I know this, and I couldn't do anything but sit there and wait for it to end for her. In that situation, I was impotent and useless.
Providing comfort to someone in that situation isn't a worthless act. If anything, it makes you stronger than you're giving yourself credit for.
No, it doesn't. It's what I was made to do. And I can't even do it without these awful feelings and wondering how we failed her. I don't know how we fail so many people on a daily basis, and I don't know why I can feel the weight of it all of a sudden. Meanwhile, I'm trying to save you, and you won't even let me. I can actually do something good, and you won't even consider letting me help you live.
No, you're trying to make yourself feel better. You're not used to feeling this way, and you think that by taking things into your own hands, you can take control and get rid of some of the guilt that you're taking on. It's okay to let things happen the way they're supposed to. It's not always the way we want it, but the world is old and will still be turning when we're all gone. It's also okay to be feeling all of these feelings. You also need to understand that this guilt that you're borrowing is not for you. Everything that happens is predestined. All you can do is show up to do your part and keep fighting the good fight.
I can't feel you. It's silly because I'm here trying to make sense of all of these emotions I'm starting to have, but I still can't physically feel anything. Thank you for trying to comfort me. It means a lot, even if I can't feel it. I wish I could. It seems like I find myself wishing for a lot of things lately.
How long have you been doing this? Whatever this is.
Since the first murder, the first real one, was omitted from the scriptures. A lot of the religions you studied claim the first murder was brother against brother. It wasn't, though. A man killed a girl because he thought she laughed at him. He thought she giggled at him, and he became so irate that he followed her home and waited for her family to go to sleep. He snuck in and stole her in the dead of night and then drowned her in a nearby stream. Her family woke up the next day and thought she was playing a game at first. When she wasn't in her usual hiding spots, they began to worry. It was her sister that thought to look in the stream. She didn't know why at the time, but her sister was the one to find her. At first, she thought she was sleeping. There had never been a murder before, and hardly anyone died that young at the time. And when she realized her sister was gone, she screamed to the heavens, and she raged. She made so much noise that the powers that be heard her. They heard her screams and spoke to her. There's been so many since that it's hard to keep track. And I've been doing this since forever.
I don't envy you. To be immortal with the burden you're carrying is a crueler fate than death, I imagine.
It wasn't so bad at first, for a while. Then humans began to make weapons, and then they invented war. Even the first few millenniums weren't so bad. I just stayed focused on my work and figured it would slow down eventually, but here we are.
Thank you for trying to save me. I'm sorry I can't let you.
I'm sorry I tried to save you. Thank you for not letting me. Were you going to ask me something?
I changed my mind.
Was it about how you're going to die?
No, I'm trying not to think about that. I was going to ask what you are, but maybe it's better to not ask.
I assumed you figured it out, which is why you didn't ask any questions. I guess I can even be surprised every once in a while.
I take it you're going to stay with me until the end? If so, will you help me hang up a few more banners? I didn't stay up all night to let these gather dust in my bag. I made them so people would know what kind of space this is as soon as they walk in. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'd like to spend it making this a safe space and not thinking about what's coming.
No, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen now.
Please don't say anything else about it. Just let me enjoy not dying right now.
Sure. Sorry, again.
I know you can't feel it, but I'm not dying today.
I have to go. I have another busy night in front of me. It was a pleasure meeting you. Not to alarm you, I will not show up early to your... It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you. I hope you find peace.
Enjoy your night.
Late breaking news.
Mayor Wallace posted on their Facebook.
In response to 4 shootings today.
Local authorities warned us for the neighborhood. The shootings are not connected.
Repeated, there is no reason to think shootings are connected.
At this time, authorities are still
investigating all possible scenarios.
Go to our Facebook page to stay up to date.
Earlier today, we interviewed Reverend Macy Roberts.
Her church is located on the corner of Main, man.
This is the first time in the church's history
that she will celebrate the LGBT History Month.
But instead of waiting until October,
the event will start this month.
All I have left is hope. And I'm afraid to hope anymore. I don't even know how to talk to my own nephew. Every time I see him, I start crying. And I think of how long you've been gone. I don't know how to comfort him because this shouldn't be happening. You went to work and you just didn't come home. I can't understand that. And I don't know how to explain that or make that okay somehow. I was never the strong one. And I don't know how to be strong for him or for anyone. It hurts to even try to talk about it to anyone. Jay keeps trying to get me to eat or sleep. He keeps telling me that I'm in shock and I need to take care of myself. I just want to yell at him because he doesn't understand. He will never understand that this is hell. I just keep replaying the last time we spoke and how mad I was. And I wish I understood then that it didn't matter. I wish I could just have a redo. Then maybe you wouldn't be missing. Maybe I'd be missing instead. And you would be at home holding your kid. And the two of you would get through this because you're better than me. Or maybe we would be somewhere together sending thoughts and prayers to some other family that would be going through this instead. Does that make me a bad person? I mean, I don't want anyone else to go through this, but I also don't want to feel this way. I don't know what I mean anymore. Just please come home. Amen.
Am I hallucinating?
No,
Are you here to save me?
I really wish I could, though.
You're not a hallucination, but you can't help me.
I can't help you physically. It's quite impossible. I'm here because your sister doesn't want you to be alone. She's racked with guilt and worry. She wants you to know that she's sorry. That she wanted to tell you that while she still could.
She has nothing to be sorry for. I fucked up. I fucked up a lot. She had every right to be mad at me. Could have been so much better to her. Will you tell her that I'm sorry and that I love her? Tell her I never stopped loving her and I wish I could take it all back. I wish I could have a do-over and just make everything right.
I'll tell her.
Promise?
I promise.
I don't have much time left, do I? Is that why you're here?
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. It's not your fault, is it?
No. I'm just sorry about everything. No one deserves this.
I was kind of hoping I'd die before he could do it. That weird. I spent my whole life fighting to stay alive and then spent my final hours wanting to die in a way that wouldn't give him the satisfaction of doing this to me. Isn't that a bitch?
'Tis a bitch indeed.
I hope he's caught. I hope the police don't mess this up. I want my family to have closure and I want to make sure he doesn't do this to anyone else. I never even saw him coming. I closed the trunk of my car and he was just there. I tried to fight and I screamed. I screamed so loud, but no one helped me. I guess they were all too busy to save life that day.
'Tis a different kind of bitch.
Is my family gonna be okay? My son and I are really close and I don't want him. I want him and my sister to be okay. You know? I just want them to be okay after it. Will they be okay, ma'am?
Eventually. These kinds of deaths are especially hard. He'll be caught late Sunday night. I hope that brings you some comfort.
It does. A little.
But of course, he won't actually go to trial until next year. It's going to be lengthy, but they'll pull through. It'll come to light that you're not the first person he's done this to. You're just the first one they found. And one of the women before you has a brother in prison who will exact justice once they find out. The judge who wasn't going to put your murderer away for nearly long enough will have a horrible heart attack 3 years after your funeral. To the day. Life doesn't always work out, but when it does, it's poetic. I'm sorry this is how you end. You were a good person. With everything life dealt you and with all you had to overcome, you deserve so much more out of life.
Thank you. Can you tell me about my son's future? Is that allowed? I want to know if he's going to have kids and if he'll be happy.
Yes, to both. He'll have 3 kids, all girls. He's going to be a great father, for what it's worth. You raised a great person.
I was really worried that I messed up. I wasn't a good mom for such a long time.
He's going to turn out fine. He forgives everything and he'll never even think twice about what you're worried about.
Are you sure? I don't want him to hate me later on.
He could never hate you. He's going to give his first daughter your middle name.
Never wanted to leave him. I never wanted. And what becomes of my sister?
She'll be fine.
You know what he's going to do to me? I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be real bad, and I'm scared. I don't want him to have the satisfaction of knowing that I'm scared, but I'm so afraid.
I know it's not much of a consolation, but death itself is nothing to fear. It's more of a transition. And I'm sorry your transition will not be more peaceful, but I promise you that after this life, you'll be happy again. I swear it.
Right. So I just have to get through this. Will you do me a favor, ma'am?
What is it?
Will you lie to me? Will you tell me this isn't going to be as bad as it's going to be? Tell me I'm worried about nothing. Just lie to me.
Okay. For you, I'll lie.
And will you stay with me? I don't want to do this alone.
I'll stay until the end.
Promise?
Promise. You're worried about nothing. This is going to be quick. You'll barely feel it. You'll barely feel anything.
You're a really bad liar.
Maybe instead of lying to you, I can give you some advice. I know it sounds weird, but try focusing on happy memories. Create a happy place to retreat to. I've seen it help a lot of people I visited.
I remember staying up all night with Bridget. When she was a kid, we would stay up watching music videos. Back then, you could only watch them on cable. She liked some of the weirdest stuff. A lot of it was really cool, though. I also remember her first notebook she was able to fill with cursive. It was mostly scribbles about the people in our house who made her mad. This one year, she figured out what she wanted to wear for her birthday and kept announcing that it was her birthday suit. We kept telling her to stop saying that, but we wouldn't tell her what it meant. When she finally figured out why we'd been laughing at her for months, she'd been so pissed. I remember how she used to say fuckles instead of freckles. I remember when my son was born and she held him for the first time. She taught him a song when he was 2 so that he'd remember the days of the week. When he made it to preschool, he still sang them that way, but he knew them because of his Aunt Bee. I remember the last time the three of us were together, and she was so disappointed in me, but she didn't want him to know. I hurt her so much, and we never made it past it, but I love her more than I'll ever get to tell her. I miss my sister.
Everything living is connected. So you have more sisters than you know. Technically, we were sisters when I was human, even across all of that space and time that separates us. I know I'm not Bridget, but I do love you like a sister, and I am here for you as long as you need me.
Bridget is the strong one. I never told her that. Will you tell her I'm sorry that I never told her that she was the strong one, and that I'm sorry about everything? Will you tell her that I'm so sorry?
Of course.
Thank you for being here, ma'am. I don't know why you're here or who you are, but I'm happy you're here because I don't want to die alone. I never wanted to die alone like this. Thank you.
I'm sorry I can't help you. For what it's worth, you are loved by many more than you'll ever know. They're out there right now, searching for you, worrying about you day and night. You will be missed, Sarah.
Thank you, but I'm still scared. I don't want to die today.
I am so sorry. If you get scared, you can focus on me. I'll be here until the very end. We'll get through this together. You and me.
You and me.
You and me.
The body was found in a basement.
Woman, Sharai Bohannon's been missing Thursday night.
The man in custody has a criminal record spanning 20 years.
Arrested numerous times for possession, assault, and
He'll go to before court Monday.
the woman finally has opened a GoFundMe account to help with funeral costs.
The body was identified. The
The
body,
body
has
was
been
taken. The body.
The body.
The body.
The body.
The body.
The body.
Body.
It turns out knowing it, seeing it in fine print are two different things. I knew we wouldn't get you back. On some level, I knew once we cleared 48 hours, even though they tell you 72 hours is the window. But I don't think I really knew it until I read it online. I read it on a page advertising juice on the side of the screen. They boasted about having the best juice in a box, and their ad kept flashing their bright colors. The report next to the juice has said, the body of the missing woman was found. And now it's all I can do to hold my pieces together. They want to fall off and float away into the universe. I want to cry myself to death. I want to make the man who did this your murderer. I need to make him pay. I want to set the world on fire, but I also just want to go to sleep forever. Why is this happening? Why did he take you away? I always thought we'd make up. Didn't you? I just figured we had time because you lived so much longer and you were supposed to. I think I thought you would live forever. I know that's stupid, but I think I needed to believe it so that I'd never feel this way. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I can barely breathe and everything hurts. These waves of sadness keep knocking me over and I feel like I could drown in one of them. I think I thought that if you weren't invincible, then your lupus or your kidney transplant would have caused some weird complication that would lay dormant for 10 years or I don't know. I always thought that if you did have to die, it would be peacefully and surrounded by family and doctors that would make you comfortable. I didn't want this. I never wanted this. I feel empty. And I just want to tell you that I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't understand. I was a kid and I didn't know. I didn't get what it must have been like for you. I get it now and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Just please come back. Stop being dead. Did you do this? Stop. I'm talking to you. Did you do this to my sister? Did you?
Would you like to see me? Or do you prefer to yell at something you can't see? I understand if you want to yell at me, but still feel like you're alone.
I want to see you. I want you to look me in the eye and explain why. Why did you let this happen?
For what it's worth, I didn't let this happen. I don't let anything happen. It was already written. I'm just there in the end.
You take it or we die. You take this. I've seen you. You tried to take me once.
No, I came to comfort someone else and you just happened to be having a near-death experience at the time. You were never meant to see me.
But you take us.
I take no one. Nephthys is the goddess of death and mourning. She's the one to blame for all the...
Well, bring me to her. I want to see her.
And I believe what you call shock, dear.
Don't call me dear. And I'm not in anything. I'm not, there is no word for what I am. I am being ripped apart on the inside. Have you ever felt sadness so heavy that it ached in your bones? It made every breath excruciating. Every time I inhale, it feels like a brick falls into my chest and falls onto my heart. I think I could die from this feeling. And I think I would like to die.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I just want to know that she didn't suffer. I want to know what he did. I want to know why. I want to know it was quick. And I want the news to stop referring to her as the fucking body. She was a person. She was my sister. She was a human being, and she's gone because he decided he wanted to end her. Just out of the blue, he took her away from me. I don't want justice. Justice isn't going to bring her back, and it isn't going to comfort my nephew. Justice isn't going to make it stop hurting. And I want to stop hurting.
I know.
You don't know. I can't breathe. This feeling comes over me in waves. I'll think I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, I'm crying. And I can't be here anymore. Everything feels like it's happening somewhere else. And sound feels like it's coming from underwater. It fucking hurts to live. I keep thinking of how I found her. I keep thinking of the logistics, what probably happened to get her that way. What he had to do to get her into. What do you know? You just cause this and then you walk away. You can't understand what this is like.
I was like you once. It's been so long. I've kissed so many. But I still remember the feeling. A man killed my sister, too. We were kids when he stole her in the night and killed her. I remember seeing her body in the water. I was the one that found her. We didn't even know what murder was. It was painful to be the first and then to be forgotten. Like I said, I know the feeling well.
If that were your story, then you wouldn't be able to do what you do. You don't become death if death takes the people you love. Not unless you're a monster.
I didn't become death. I am the goddess of mercy and compassion. My hands are bound as far as fate is concerned, and I can just be there in the end. I can help comfort people as they transition from this life to the next. I can make sure no one dies alone. That is my gift to the world. That is my duty. To hold the hands of the people taken too soon. It gets so tiring. If I could still cry, I think that would be all I did, all day, every day. And I know there's nothing to fear in the afterlife, no matter what anyone tries to make you believe. Death is just a transition point. It's the end of one physical life, but it's also the beginning of the next. That's why I missed all the deaths every day. There are so many babies being born. Death is actually quite beautiful, unless you're one of the people left behind. And you don't get to know that That soul that you've come to love, while it was a person, finds peace as a new person. And they can watch over you waiting to be born again, but you don't get that knowledge. They've moved on and are probably happier than they've been since the last time they began a new life.
Why don't we get to know that?
There's a lot of things you don't get to know, unfortunately. Sarah wanted me to tell you that she loved you and that she knew you forgave her. And she wanted you to know that no matter what, you were still sisters. And she wanted me to tell you also that you were the strong one.
I want my big sister back.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told her in her final moments. Everything living is connected. You're still sisters because you were sisters before you were born. And you'll be sisters long after this planet ends.
I didn't get to identify her. When they called us in, I was too scared. I stayed outside and pretended I had to go to the restroom. I don't know what he did to her, and no one will tell me. I just know what's posted online. No one will even talk about it.
You don't want to know.
Can you at least tell me what happened to her? Can you tell me she didn't suffer?
I will tell you whatever you need me to tell you.
Can you lie to me? Can you tell me it didn't hurt?
It was the most peaceful death in the history of the world. She went to sleep and just didn't wake up. When he came back to end it, she was already gone.
When he came back to end it, she was already gone.
She was at peace. Her health finally worked in her favor as it stole her away before he could hurt her.
He stole her before he could hurt her. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I know you said she's fine even though she's gone, but I don't know how I'm supposed to go on.
You don't go on.
Does that mean I'm supposed to die too? I'd like to be dead, so that's okay if that's what it means. Being dead would stop this feeling. This feeling is crushing me, and I feel like I'll never be rid of it.
It means that everything is written and everything happens as it should.
I don't understand.
Our connection is more than chance. The fact that we've been in the same spaces this weekend is no coincidence, dear. This is apparently our destiny. I'm supposed to comfort you, but ultimately, you're going to become me. It's about time someone did, really. I've done this since I became. I hurt so much at the time that I begged for this, and now I'm tired. It never gets easier watching people beg for their lives or fight to live, or the loved ones they leave behind. Each one takes a bit of you, and I'm afraid I'm all out of bits to give. It's your turn.
I don't know if I want it.
You know, we've been building to this since the moment you first saw me all those years ago. We just didn't know it wouldn't, we didn't know it until we were here.
It's- what becomes of you if I become you? Is it like what happens with humans?
Yes, I get to be reborn into someone or something else. I think I might like being a tree. They're pretty and they don't harm each other for sport. I've lost my stomach for humans, really. I'd like to finally find peace.
Will my family think I just disappeared? I don't want to put them through another disappearance.
That's the tricky part. You'll see them again, but they'll never know what actually happened. If you want to leave them a note to give them a bit of peace, you can do that. Maybe say it was too much and you needed to find closure. Or maybe it's better if you just let them think you're still out there somewhere and that they might someday see you again. The choice is yours.
I think it's good to let them have hope. Hope is a kindness.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. Well then, are you ready?
I think so. What do we do now?
Lean in. I have to kiss you because you're leaving this plane. Take my hands. I've forgotten how warm you lot are. For what it's worth, you'll be terrific at this. You're going to be even better at it than I am. Your compassion will be your biggest asset, and the people you aid will appreciate it more than you'll ever know. I hope one day that I'll be one of those people.
The missing woman's sister.
Just found.
Law enforcement says there's no,
Reason to believe the two are linked.
at this time,
Stay tuned for up.
to the minute coverage.
My sadness hasn't gone away. I carry it with me still. I carry it to each person I meet. It's in every word I say and everything I do. Every time I kiss someone, it stings my heart in a weird way that's indescribable. However, I can't imagine having to endure this pain as a human. I remember the night I became and how I felt as if I would die of sadness. How it hurt to breathe and to exist. I don't think I would have been able to survive that way. However, now I get to bring peace to those in their final moments. I get to rest assured that no one we love ever dies alone, and that physical death isn't the end. I know that when people die, their being is scattered into new life. Flowers and babies and kittens and insects and even trees. I hope Emmy got her tree. I hope we all get what we want, whether it's in this life or in the next ones.